More complex than simply an astronomical bidding war for a supremely talented player. Mbappe, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain, is ready to move, and the clubs reputedly on the hunt range from Real Madrid to Man City and Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal. But it's the interest from Saudi Arabia, who has a public investment fund with an apparently bottomless well of money, which is causing the controversy. It's been the summer of Saudi football transfers. Players like Roberto Firmino, Edouard Mendy and Riyad Mahrez have all joined Al Ahly, one of 4 major Saudi football clubs recently taken over by the country's public investment fund, which also bought English club Newcastle United last year. One of the game's biggest stars, Cristiano Ronaldo, now earns a reported $175 million a season playing for Al Nassr, who have just poached his former Real Madrid teammate Karim Benzema. But is the possibility of France captain Kylian Mbappe joining the leading Saudi side Al Hilal for an eye-watering transfer fee rumoured to be around $259 million, which has put the Saudis' sports stronghold back in the public discourse? But it's not just football that the Gulf Kingdom is focused on, and allegations of sports washing have been rife. Big-ticket events like Formula One, tennis and boxing, as well as the recent Saudi-backed Live Golf merger with the PGA, have led to rifts in the sporting community, both among spectators and players. The 2018 murder of Saudi journalist and dissident Jamal Khashoggi, as well as the country's poor record on LGBT and women's rights, have led to widespread condemnation. Is sport now the tool Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is using to bolster the country's tourism and economic profile in the face of its appalling record on human rights? Well, on the line now from Jeddah is Talal Almaghrabi, President of the Saudi British Marketing and Management Association, an expert in sports marketing and an advisor to the Saudi government, and Shamila Kushistani, who was the first captain of the Afghanistan women's football team and a human rights activist. She now lives in Los Angeles. Good evening, both of you. First of all, Talal Almaghrabi, will Saudi Arabia literally pay as much as it takes to secure Kylian Mbappe for a team in Saudi?
Thank you for having me. Just to correct, I'm not an advisor for the government. For Saudi Arabia, I think they put the bid for Mbappe, which is the same offer they have been given to Messi before, to play for a Saudi club as well as to represent the country or be the face for the country for the tourism. So it is exactly the same bid has been offered before for Messi. However, if Mbappe comes, I think that will be a great for the country and a great for boosting the attentions and bringing more tourism to Saudi Arabia. If not, I think also that will generated already the global buzz, and we have more people understand now about Saudi Arabia. The media is more bringing attentions about Saudi Arabia.
So yes,
about all the changes taking place now.
So you would have Mbappe and the others as the face of tourism and sport in Saudi. Now, you know you're accused of sports washing. Because you have a human rights record, it's not an enviable one. The number of executions has gone up since 2015 by 82%. Women still have to get permission from male guardians to marry, to leave prison, to leave domestic violence refuges. And in a divorce, the male partner, the man, the husband, automatically gets the children. Does that strike you as being equal rights for women in the country? Does that strike you as a good human rights record?
If you would like to allow me, just for the sake, also the audience will get a very valuable knowledge. Most of the information you have said is not correct. If you would like to go back to the terminology itself, the sports washing, if you go back to the last 5 years, you will find this terminology being used in different countries. The first country has been accused by this is the United Kingdom, accusing United Kingdom to use the sports as a platform to wash its crime, especially in Africa, and using also rugby. So they use football and rugby. And also it has been applied to the United States and other countries. In the last 5 years, we have seen the greenwash Now we are talking about the vegan washing, the LGBT washing, a lot of the education washing. So most of the countries are using different platforms.
Let me talk. I want to bring in our second guest here before we go any further, Shamila, because I want to come back to the whole question of women's rights and equal treatment for women. You suffered under the Taliban. You know all about repression. But for you, is sport a symbol of freedom and equality? And what do you make of Saudi's record?
Yes, to me, sports give me the right to education, the right to be myself. And knowing that sport means so much to me, it is definitely heartbreaking to see how Saudi Arabia and other countries using sport as a way to get the world's attention to not pay attention to their human rights abuses. Women are right now in jail for advocating for their rights to play sport or even drive in Saudi Arabia. So if the Saudi Arabians want to paint a positive picture of its country in the world, they also need to take bold steps towards addressing its a human rights issue, specifically women's rights issue.
Yes, to be fair, Shamila, women are playing sport in Saudi Arabia. I think that now there has been a change in that. But the question is, do they have equal rights in the country?
Exactly. I don't think they have equal rights. Just giving women the right to play a sport is not something we should celebrate, because these were women is given God-given rights that were taken away by their government, and now it's given to them because they want to show the world that they are making progress. But in reality, they need to create an institution and ministries, organizations that actually protects women's rights and give them equal rights. It's truly unbelievable, this investment of the Saudi Arabia in sport shows that there are no limits to what money can buy.
But I want to put that I want to say to Talal Almaghrabi, just to pick you up now on what women's rights actually are in Saudi Arabia. I made a list there, though that list is correct, of course, that women need their guardians' permission to marry and so forth. When the Crown Prince says that the restrictions are not the restrictions of him or the government, they're restrictions of a conservative society, what do you say to that? Because isn't the Crown Prince in a position to change the rules? If he really wants to change the rules and give women equal rights in Saudi Arabia, he's in a very good position to do that.
Just also to correct what you have said, and also the other guests have said, I think if you have not been in Saudi Arabia in the last 20 years, I think you are just speculating wrong and false perceptions and information given to the audience. That is completely wrong. I am married for almost 30 years. My wife has the rights to work, to get a better salary than me. She has all the rights. So I think
yes,
what you have said is...
Can I just be clear? But what my understanding is, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is that women still need the permission of a guardian to marry, to leave prison, to leave a domestic abuse refuge. And in a divorce, the automatic assumption is the man gets the children. It can be challenged, but the man gets the children. That is the position in Saudi, isn't it?
No, I assure you that is not right. There is a lot of weight that will consider where is the children goes based on the law. Also, the woman can choose who to marry, and that is being based on even during Prophet Muhammad and now.
Shamila, what do you hope for, very briefly, what do you hope for women in Saudi? What do you hope for women in Saudi, briefly? Shamila.
None of what our guests are saying, Tala, is I'm not sure where he gets his information, but I truly follow women's football in Saudi Arabia. I know activists, I know women's rights activists who are in jail right now for freedom of speech, fighting for their right to divorce.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Something that I'm making it up. This is accurate. And if Saudi Arabia continue to sport watch these issues and say that we do have the right, then they should release all
Thank you,
Thank
you, Mafri. We'll run right out of thank you very much. That's all from us tonight. Good night. See you tomorrow.